The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.
Hey guys, well today what I'm doing is I'm starting my 10-part series of doing time in Lewisburg Penitentiary. So, I wanted to share this with you guys. I think you're going to really enjoy this. As I talk, I'm going to be putting up photos and giving you details of certain things that were going through my life at the time when I arrived in Lewisburg Penitentiary. I was 23 years old and I was on my way to Lewisburg. So just imagine what was on my mind. At that time, I was going steady. And so, you're going to really enjoy this story. But I'm going to start this story of how I got arrested. And so these episodes will be 45 minutes to an hour. You're going to enjoy them. And there'll be 10 episodes. So we'll finish it like that. There's a lot of characters I met along the way throughout the prison system. I'll give you stories as, I was in jail, who I met, things like that. You're going to enjoy this. This is something I said, you know what? Let me do this. Let me focus on this. I think this will be good content for all of you. And today, obviously I'm not showing my face. I have an avatar of my podcast, but eventually I will be doing maybe one show or a couple shows live here and there. But you're really going to enjoy this. So let me start off by, we're going to go to 1993 because that's when I got arrested. I got arrested May 10th of 1993 for a bank robbery. It was an attempted bank robbery because we never got away with it. What happened was it was a smash and grab. Now, I was supposed to do this robbery with Tommy Reynolds. This was mine and Tommy Reynolds' score. What happened was I decided, you know what, let me do this without Tommy. And if I get away with it, you know what, I was going to stake Tommy and give him a couple of dollars anyway, because that's how I was. Tommy knew that's how I was, but after I got caught and, obviously, Tommy was upset, because, but he would have got caught too, who knows. So one morning I wake up, I planned this score. I tell the kid Mike and Meany to meet me, and some other kid I really didn't know. He was from the neighborhood. He was a good kid, and he wanted to be involved in the score. I said, you know what? Meet me in front of Nick's candy store. But it wasn't Nick's then. Nick's was no longer there in '93. Nick's was way gone by then. But we still called it Nick's. So I said, meet me in front of Nick's candy store. And you know what? Come on, I'll put you on a little score. Maybe I'll put a couple of dollars back in your pocket. So Mike and Meany met me there. Mike and Meany had a pistol on him. I had a pistol on me. And we went to Bay Ridge and Fifth Avenue. Okay. It was a chemical bank, something like that. I honestly really don't remember what bank it was. But so we pull up, we're in a vehicle, and I have a sledgehammer in the car. So I said, Mike, I get out of the car, break the window, okay? We're waiting for the woman or the manager to come to the safe to take out all the money. And once she does that, we're going to walk up to the window and smash it. So I'm in the getaway car. I said, Mike, there she is. She's opening up. Do it now. He walks up and he runs up to the window, hits it with the sledgehammer. The window does not break. It's shatterproof. This is how we get arrested. And he keeps on doing it. He don't realize, you know what? The window's not breaking. I said, Mike, I said, get the fuck in the car. He gets in the car. When he gets in the car, I take off. As I take off, there's this undercover cop in his car in Bay Ridge. He starts following me. So I said, you know, who the fuck is this guy? So I'm on the chase. He's chasing me. So I can't lose this guy. I said, Mike, I'm going to pull over. You know what? Take the 2 guns and Jack, get the fuck out of here. I pull over. Mike jets. He takes the guns and he gets out of there. As we get out of there, I end up getting pinched. I run to this kid Carlos' house. This kid Carlos is originally from Bay 23rd. He was a good kid. I don't want to mention his last name, but anyone from the neighborhood knows who he is. He was Major John Padone's friend. I hung out with him a couple of times. He bought a car off of me. You know, he wasn't a bad kid. So I go to his house. I said, Carlos, I got the fucking someone chasing me. He said, Jimmy, get in here. Boom. So anyway, they found out whose house I went in. I got in the house. As I got in the house, then someone knocks at the door. They knock on the door. I got pinched. Okay. I get pinched. I really tell them, you know, Carlos gets pinched with me. I said, listen, this kid ain't involved in nothing. Okay. You know, I ran to his house. Anyway, he's under investigation, but eventually they dropped the charges with him. So now they're taking me to MCC. So I go to MCC. I got a case pending, you know, a state case at this time. I got a gun charge. I got caught with a gun. I beat up a guy running an axe handle. On that case, I have Lou Diamond. So I go to MCC. Before I go to MCC, they bring me and they book me. They take off all my clothes. And what they do is they put me in this plastic suit. Okay. And they take particles of my hair to see if I'm involved in any other crimes. So that's basically taking my DNA. They give me a mouth swipe and all that other stuff. They think like I'm this notorious criminal. They really do, you know. And, you know, I robbed a lot of banks before. And at this time, there's a lot of banks getting robbed. This is 1993. So just imagine there's a lot going on. So I get arrested. I go to MCC. And I go through a process. You know, there wasn't a Brooklyn MDC at that time in 93. So I go straight to Manhattan, MCC. I go to Manhattan, they process you. You know, they put you, you know, they give you a bed, your bedding. They give you a jumpsuit. And I ended up on the 5th floor. The floor I ended up on was the same floor as Michael Dowd. Michael Dowd, the corrupt police officer, I was on his floor. I really didn't talk to him. I really didn't talk to anybody. You know, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I wasn't looking to make no friends. I just got pinched, you know, and I'm really not a happy guy right now. You know, Mike and Meanie got away. I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm not saying a word. And this is basically my story. So you guys are going to really enjoy this. So I'm in MCC, okay? I'm taking one day at a time. I'm locked up. I'm making some phone calls. You know, Paulie G's still alive. I call my mother. Paulie G drops some money over at my mother's house. He gives me a gold chain. He brings a gold chain to my mother. He says, Matty, he says, give this to Jimmy. And she ends up getting in. I put the gold chain on. And they end up doing my whole bid with that gold chain. So, and my mother is wearing a brand new pair of sneakers, and I'm exchanging sneakers with her in MCC. She brings me up a brand new pair of sneakers for me to wear. That's how my mother was. My mother was a trooper. I love her. God bless you, Ma. Rest in heaven. So I'm sitting in jail over here, and Larry Mezza and Larry Fiorenza is also on the same floor as me. Now, I don't know them. You know, Larry Fiorenza, his mother was, she lived on Bay 23rd in Bath. So I ended up talking to him. He said, where you from? Blah, blah, blah. I said, Bath Avenue. He said, okay. And, Larry is from 11th Avenue, 13th Avenue with the Scarpa crew, and saw him a couple of times in the pool hall on 17th Avenue in Bath for a short time. He was there, and but I didn't know him. So we became friendly. Hey, how you doing? I was from the neighborhood, so mingle with them here and there. There's a couple other people you mingle with, but in MCC there were so many fucking stool pigeons. You couldn't talk to anybody. There's a lot of black people cooperating. There's a lot of Spanish people cooperating. Who was looking to cooperate, and that's the environment you were in. And a lot of people at that time, they had TVs in their cells, okay? And anyone who had a TV in their cell in MCC was basically a rat, a stool pigeon, because look what they're doing. They're accommodating you. The government is accommodating you and giving you a TV in your cell. Not everyone had access to a TV. And then you had a couple TVs that would go around. You would have a TV for a night. You would get to watch a show if you had a cellie or by yourself. And that's how MCC was. So I was on 5 South, then you have 5 North, and you could look across the way. There's a little window, square window, where you can look and see if someone is looking to send a message to somebody, between 5 South and 5 North. You had a lot of Colombo guys there at the time. You had a lot of Lucchese guys there at the time. And you had a lot of Gambino guys there at the time. Because of Sammy, Sammy cooperated at this time. You had the gas pipe, he cooperated, and the Colombo War. So, eventually, and then at nighttime, what they do is they call people's names and you get on a bus. And if you're lucky enough to get out of MCC and get to Otisville, because Otisville, when you get there, you're doing a lot more better time. You're more open. You have a big yard. You got fresh air. The food's better. And you could do more exercise. You could play actually softball. You could play handball and stuff like that, So if they call your name, you get on the bus. But those cops, too, when they call your name, they didn't fuck around, man. I'll tell you. Those COs on the bus, they will give other guys beatings. I saw them give fucking beatings, man. Especially they were giving black people beatings, black guys beatings. They throw them into the side and they just give them a fucking beam, bang, bang. If you were disrespectful to them, I'm telling you, they fucking hurt you bad. And that's the way the system was at that time. Not like today, which, is in a good way. Of course, they had a lot of power and they abused it. But, prison was not no joke. Once you take your freedom, you have no more control over yourself. They're telling you when to stand up, when to sit down. And every 4 o'clock is a stand-up count. You have to stand up and get counted for. If you don't stand up, they tap on your fucking door. Stand up. You got to stand up, But, and also in prison, you do get to, some people cook their own food. They're fortunate. Some people cook for them. So there's a lot of things in prison that are fun, that could help you as far as cooking. Everyone loves to eat. So I'm in MCC. Eventually I go to Otisville. When I get to Otisville, I see Mikey DeSantis. Now Mikey DeSantis I know from the street because his brother Frankie married my mother's sister Carol. So in a way, Frankie DeSantis is related to me. I have cousins through family and stuff like that, first cousins. And listen, Mikey was always a guy. So when he sees me, he basically puts me underneath his wing and says, Jim, you know what, stay with me. I get into his unit and they're cooking. Bawad is there, Anthony Bawad, Sally Avellino. A lot of guys are there, Mike Spinelli comes in. You got the guy Red that was close to Tommy Red that was close to Mike DeSantis. He ends up flipping. And there's a lot of wise guys all over. Frankie Notch comes in. Guys all over, different. Some guys don't like other guys, You know how that goes. A lot of guys really don't care for each other in the mob. Bobby Colbert was there. Lorenzo was there. The Gambino brothers was there. A lot of people were there at this time. So I got to meet a lot of people. You know, Pete Rose was designated in Otisville. So I got to meet him. Eventually, Sparrow ends up getting picked up, and he ends up in MCC. Pete Rose ends up giving me some raises, and when I get to MCC, I end up giving them to Sparrow, you know, and stuff like that. And but there's a lot of things that went on. So at this time, so you know, throughout all this time, what I'm doing is I'm going back and forth to court, pre-trial. Eventually, I take a plea. I took 57 months with the feds. Okay, they wanted to charge me with a gun charge, a 924C. I beat it because they found the gun when the kid Mikey and Matty tossed it, but it was an attempted robbery. It wasn't an armed robbery because of you know, we never got into the bank, and that's the story of that. So this is what caused me to get arrested. But I had a case pending already, and I was looking at a 4 to 8. But we're gonna get into that when I get to Lewisburg. So right now I'm still in MCC. Mikey D is taking me underneath his wing. I'm getting visits with Michael DeSantis. My family's coming up with his family. We're getting visits. At the time, the terrorist guy that did the Twin Towers the first time when they didn't fall down was on the visit with us, and he had agents all over him with a tape recorder that anything he said had to be tape recorded. So there was a lot going on. You know, there was, at the time, you had the kid Ronnie Petrino in Otisville. You had the kid Bobby Fingers. He came down from the state in Otisville. There was a lot of guys, I'm telling you, tons and tons of wise guys were down there. But you know what? I met a lot of good times, a lot of good guys, and we really, really, you know, was like family out there. But so end of that, I get sentenced. Okay. So I get 57 months. I go back to Otisville. I'm waiting for them, for my name to go into the computer and see where I'm going to be designated. So I go to the unit manager and the counselor. I say, you know what? I said, you know, I just got sentenced. You know, it's 2-3 weeks now. I just want to know, where am I going to be sentenced to, where my designation is. So some lady, some black woman, she was real sweet, kind. She said, okay, Mr. Calandra, you know what? Let me punch it in. Let me see. So she says, it comes up, wow, you're going to Lewisburg Penitentiary. She said, how much time did you get? I said, 57 months. You got 57 months and they send you to Lewisburg? I said, yeah. She said, oh, wow. So anyway, I'm going to Lewisburg. You know what I mean? I still got a case pending in the state of 4 to 8. So they're sending me to Lewisburg, okay? My bus comes, you know, I say goodbye to Mikey, everybody. Now, when I find out I'm going to Lewisburg Penitentiary, you know, obviously I told the wise guys I'm going to Lewisburg Penitentiary. And well, when I first got sentenced, a lot of guys said, Jimmy, how much time did you get? I said, you know, I don't even want to tell you because I'm embarrassed, because all these guys are looking at 25 years, 30 years. And Mikey D said, he said, Jimmy, he said, never be ashamed of doing your time. Whatever you got to do. And so I told him 57 months. He said, good. He said, you know, and then I found out I'm going to Lewisburg Penitentiary, and Mikey DeSantis reached out to some little guy called Oscar the Caesarean. Okay, Oscar the Caesarean was a serious guy, Lucchese associate that, you know, you don't want to fuck with this guy. But anyway, he was in contact with Matty, Madonna, Herby Sperling. And when I got there, who was waiting for me? Matty, Madonna, and Herby Sperling. But we're going to stop this when I get to Lewisburg, okay? Because once I get to Lewisburg, we're going to go into detail of how Lewisburg was, how the setup was, the people I met, who I worked out with, playing handball, the good times I had cooking, things like that, the visits. And I'm telling you, listen, you're going to really enjoy this story. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. Thank you guys for your support. I love you all. And I hope you're looking forward to this, because I'm telling you, it's going to be fun and give you details of what's going on. And in my next episode, what I'm doing is I'm going to put a couple photos in here and there, photos of Lewisburg, and just talk about these guys, how I met them, and how they were, who were the good guys, who were the bad guys, and things like that. So everyone, listen, enjoy your day. Thanks for the support. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys all soon. Okay, guys? Bye, guys.
21.
The streets will never love you back.
Or your 23.